It's becoming clearer and clearer that we're looking at a seismic shift in the US's relationship with the world between the US dismantling its foreign interference apparatuses like USAID, Marco Rubio stating that we're now in a multipolar world with multi great powers in different parts of the planet, and that the post war global order is not just obsolete, it is now a weapon being used against us. The tariffs on supposed allies, in inverted commas, like Mexico, Canada, or the EU. This is the US effectively saying our attempt at running the world is over. To each his own, we're now another great power, not the indispensable nation. It looks dumb, as the Wall Street Journal just wrote, if you are still mentally in the old paradigm. But it's always a mistake to think that what the US or any country does is dumb. Hegemony was going to end sooner or later, and now the US is basically choosing to end it on its own terms. It is the post American world order brought to you by America itself. Even the tariffs on allies viewed under this angle make sense, as it redefines the concept of allies. They don't want, or maybe rather can't afford, vassals anymore, but rather relationships that evolve based on current interests. You can either view it as a decline because it does unquestionably look like the end of the American empire, or as avoiding further decline, controlled withdrawal from imperial commitments in order to focus resources on core national interests rather than being forced into even messier retreat at a later stage. In any case, it is the end of an era, and while the Trump administration looks like chaos to many observers, they're probably much more attuned to the changing realities of the world and their own country's predicament than their predecessors. Acknowledging the existence of a multipolar world and choosing to operate within it rather than trying to maintain an increasingly costly global hegemony couldn't be delayed much further. It looks messy, but it's probably better than maintaining the fiction of American primacy until it eventually collapses under its own weight. This is not to say the US won't continue to wreak havoc on the world, and in fact, we might be seeing it become even more aggressive than before, because when it previously was badly and very hypocritically trying to maintain some semblance of a self-proclaimed rules-based order, it now doesn't even have to pretend it is in under any constraint, not even the constraint of playing nice with allies. It's the end of the US empire, but definitely not the end of the US as a major disruptive force in world affairs. All in all, this transformation may mark one of the most significant shifts in international relations since the fall of the Soviet Union, and those most unprepared for it, as is already painfully obvious, are America's vassals caught completely flat-footed by the realization that the patron they've relied on for decades is now treating them as just another set of countries to negotiate with.